My skin.
So what's all this?
I'm just showing you.
Well, I've seen better skin than this. So what exactly are you showing off?
Ouch.
I guess he's showing off that he wants to improve on it.
Well, you are hearing the voice already. Well, let's just go into the conversation. What are the habits?
Improve it. Okay.
What?
That's why you're here.
Yes.
You will tell him how to do that.
We understand that the skin, your skin, covers an average of 1.5 to 2 square meters. And we also hear that it's the largest organ of the human body. On and on and on, all those. But the challenge we are looking at today is, what are the habits that you have been executing on a daily basis
Which
to
affect
impact
your skin
positively or negatively? Dr. Mobolaji Savage is here. She's an anti-aging and aesthetic doctor. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me over.
Anti-aging?
Yes, anti-aging doctor.
Okay.
So I take years off your age.
But not of the bone.
Well, to be honest, you can only go as far. However, of course, science has actually evolved in recent times. So one is able to go beyond just taking care of the outer appearance. One can actually influence how the human looks, even from within, pretty much. So they call it longevity medicine, which is pretty much a part of my specialty in anti-aging.
Slow down.
Longevity.
Let's start with the skin.
Yes, please.
Let's start from there. What, in your practice, what have you seen as the most injurious habit that people have towards their skin?
Thank you very much for that question. So I have a practice here in Lagos, Nigeria, in Victoria Island, which is a clinic for anti-aging and aesthetic medicine. And because of the environment that I'm in, one common habit, which one can hardly do anything about, is stress.
Stress is an anti-aging habit.
Is one thing people do that actually counters the benefits of aging more gracefully.
So, but we also hear that
there's some stress you can't avoid.
Absolutely, yes. There's some stress you can avoid. But however, as we have actually seen with time and time again, we have this movement of people that say, oh, you have to find ways to distress and ways to actually help you, just lay off stress after. It's kind of hard for those who live in this environment, pretty much. So when I think of stress, some people would say to me, some of my clients would say to me, oh, I'm not stressed. And that couldn't be far from the truth, maybe for some of them because of their social economic class. However, stress is not just defined by the physical stress alone. There is the mental stress, there is the emotional stress, which all can exert a lot of damage to the skin and overall health. And so when people think about stress, they think about maybe the average man who is going to jump bus from one end of Lagos to the other extreme end of Lagos. Yes, that's physical stress. There are other aspects of stress that could be undermining our...
What are these other kinds of stress?
Physical stress, emotional stress, like I've just mentioned.
E.g., you lost a boyfriend?
Yes, that could be a thing.
Did you lose a husband?
Yes.
To death?
That could be a thing.
Yeah.
Or a child or something like that.
Okay.
You lose a job. Things that usually can exert a lot of stress on an average human mind.
But we hear that some stress is good. Some kinds of stress is good.
Yes, there is some kind of stress that is good, as scientists say. But those kind of stress are the kind of stress that helps to keep your heart pumping. That's like exercise related. That releases those good kind of hormones. That stress and that boost to do something that you know would amount to something positive, not the one that brings to you the negative emotions, the negative vibes, the negative feelings that you do not want to experience at all. So when you experience those bad kind of stress, It is just bad for you altogether. And it means that it impacts solely on how you look and how you feel generally, and even your internal organs as well.
Oh.
Exactly, yes.
Okay. We know that what you eat affects almost every part of your body.
You're calling for it. You're calling for it. Oh, okay, sorry.
Excuse me. So, what kind of diet?
Yes, ma'am, go on.
Your diet to give you good skin?
Absolutely. So that's another good question.
How do you
And
behave yourself, please?
I think that is a very fair question that you've asked, because not many people would ask that. The average other Nigerian or average other anybody else from any part of the world might be more inclined to ask somebody else that has a good skin to say, oh, what cream are you using? That's like the default question.
We're gonna ask
because
that one as well,
yes,
but
but
let's start with this one.
starting out with diet, it means that one is in tune to know that man is about what they eat. You are what you eat. So ideally, I would say that first off, from eating, eat healthy meals. Healthy meals will be defined by meals that do not have processed sugars in them. Processed sugars might be, for instance, if you had certain skin conditions like acne being the usual popular term being pimples. If you have such kind of skin, you're expected not to eat, say, maybe spicy meals, for instance, because then you could have a trigger. If you have skins like people call eczema, not just the one that Yorubas call lakpa lakpa, no, not just type, they're actually variants of eczema. And you'd be expected not to have spicy meals as well, because then it could trigger you. Then you could have processed sugars like bread, large quantities of that, chocolates, carbohydrates, and alcohol.
Did you say chocolates?
Yes, you can't have large quantities of that as well. So you should have a balanced diet with vegetables, with minimal fats and oil, and of course, depending on what your diet goals would be. So I would say that there can't be a perfect diet for everybody, because for different skin types and different goals, you would actually require certain kinds of diet.
So it means, first of all, on that chocolate thing.
Yes, good idea.
On that chocolate thing.
Yeah.
I hear there are different kinds of chocolates, and that the darker, the healthier.
Yes.
Is it true?
This is true. And I think that I know what you mean beyond what you're saying on TV.
Oh, okay.
However, I would say that even with the dark chocolates, which are actually good to release the right kind of feel-good chemicals in your body, you shouldn't have more than, say, like a cube of it. Or even if you go over the top, 2 cubes of it, pretty much. I know it feels kind of stringent, but those are like the
healthy barriers
to have.
I told you someone was calling for it.
Okay. What about creams?
Oh, no. Wait. That's it. We'll come back to that one. We're not done with the food part.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
But before I ask you the next question about, because people also talk about things that you need to drink and all those things. But just a quick information for the viewer right now. We have a live coverage that's going on at Achievers University's 2024 convocation in Ondo State, and that's for the DSTV platform only. For those of you who are watching us on DSTV only, that is the one that we just wanted you to know right now. And so, in the event that we just move on, if you want to stay with us here on other platforms, on X, YouTube, and the rest of them, please stay with us here. But if you're on DSTV and you want to continue this conversation, please go meet us on our terrestrial platform and other platforms like that. But DSTV audience, we're taking you to that live coverage now. Now, you were talking about food, and you have told us what not to eat. How about the drinks? You spoke about alcohol. I actually wish that this chair would move a little bit closer to your side, so I don't get a backslap. But for you, there's those who say a little bit of alcohol is good for your heart. Red wine, we hear. Is there a variant of red wine, a measure of alcohol? Tell us about it.
I would say usually if you have to stay safe, you might as well do without alcohol.
Altogether.
Yes. Because, I mean, there's just that moment where you feel like, oh, just a little more, just a little more, just a little more. And before you know, you're going way overboard, pretty much. And if you would agree with me, you would find out that if you had a friend or few friends or a family member whom you've known since their 20s or something, and they've probably had a life where they've not taken alcohol for the longest time, or they've lived a very healthy life without even doing anything at all. They're in their 50s, you know them, and they look so good. There are people from like certain religious sects like that look beautiful, and you're like, what are you doing differently? Like nothing. And you find out that you invite them to parties, all they want is just a glass of water with the nice meal that you have served, pretty much. So on a safe side, I would say that if you want to be like doing all the measuring, don't do without it. But if you want me to indulge you just about a bit, I would say that usually if you had a glass of wine, which is like the full glass, if this is like a full glass of wine, for instance, my pointing finger is like a full glass. Ideally, if you had to have wine, most times they'll say, the doctor says just a glass of wine, and they'll put it just at the top here. So I would say, as a rule of thumb, that should be your glass of wine.
Oh, half the glass.
Not even half, below half, slightly. And that should
Then
be...
in that case, just say, don't drink alcohol.
Thank you.
You want pure skin.
Okay.
Don't drink
but
alcohol.
Then you always tell us to take a lot of water.
Absolutely.
How does that help the skin, really?
So water is it's an hydrant for the body. And also it helps to detoxify the body completely, gets rid of the toxins and whatnot within the body. And ideally, people, when they think about water, they say, I drink a lot of water, but we would say usually you should take at least 8 glasses of water. And that's why most people have a problem. They're like, what is 8 glasses of water? I'm like, that's 2 liters of water on an average, on a daily basis, pretty much.
Well, then you'll be going to the bathroom like every hour.
Well, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing, to detoxify your body.
Okay.
Okay, does it also detox? She was asking about creams. Does it
Yes.
also detoxify the creams you use?
Okay, so the cream is another ball game altogether. It's another ball game altogether. So water works pretty much, as you rightly stated when we started out today. You had said that the skin is the window to the rest of the body, me paraphrasing what you've said, and that's correct. Meaning that whatever goes on within is what comes out to the surface of the skin. The skin, even though it's the largest organ of the body, it's the telltale sign that you see maybe when you have something wrong with your liver or your kidneys or any other parts of your body. The skin just comes out to show something is happening. It's like if a house was burning and then the access you have is the window. You can see the flames from inside. That's how the skin is. So whatever you're doing on the inside, and water is helping to do those good things on the inside for all the internal organs, for everything to move on nicely. So when water does its job, the skin reflects that. Picture again, you standing by a house that has a window. You can see every good thing going on inside there. You can see, that's a peaceful family. Oh, that's this thing. That's the same thing with the skin. Whatever you're doing right on the inside, the skin just merely reflects it.
So if someone is having whatever on the skin and they decide to apply a cream, what are they doing? I mean, using your analogy, the cream, the house is burning, and but we can see that smoke is coming, and then I want to just cover the smoke, or what? What exactly are they doing?
So I would say how you would put it without using such ambiguous words, but I would say I would call it like an adjuvant therapy. Adjuvant meaning an assisted process of thing. And without being too vague, and I would use real life examples. You would know certain people, maybe they have, maybe of a certain socio-economic class, maybe, and they tell you, oh, I don't even rub creams at all. And then you look at their skin, it's flawless, glass-like even. And you start to wonder, what are they doing that I'm not doing? So the cream we use is an added benefit to the already good things we're doing to our bodies, pretty much. So to speak that, if maybe all we did was 90% all the right things internally, some people could almost do without that. Examples being those who live in the villages that have like fresh meals every day. They live very stress-free lives. They don't drink alcohol.
Breathe in fresh air.
Fresh air every day.
Yeah.
And they tell you, oh, I really don't do much. All I have to do is I use just shea butter or something basic and things like that. And you find it rather hard to believe because you're like, no, this looks too good to be true. However, like that analogy, all the good things they've been doing makes their skin like glow from the outside. Now, for people in environments like us, like Lagos, where everywhere is like, it's so stress-filled, we might need to now assist the skin to do some part of our jobs that we're not able to do on our own. That's why people need that assisted therapy, so to speak, where they need to apply creams and do all of that.
How important is it to wear sunscreen?
Very important. Extremely important.
But it's unknown to us in this culture.
It's unknown to us because certain sect of individuals believe that because we are skin of color, by skin of color I mean we are melanin rich skin, we're dark skinned, and they imagine, oh, my melanin protects me from the sun and everything else, but there could be nothing farther from the truth.
Okay.
You know, we could go on and on with you. There is your next conversation with us, when next you come, because we will bring you in the not too distant future. Skin conditions. Because I could show you my skin now and ask you, don't tell me anything else, don't scare me. And ask you, what is wrong with my skin and what I need to do? And maybe you want to give us some images so that people can actually take immediate action.
Absolutely.
You know, that look, this is what's wrong with your skin.
Yes.
This is likely what you have been doing, the habit you probably have been having, and you need to evolve.
And we will also talk about the effect of bleaching creams on the skin.
I know everybody like is itching to talk about that pretty much.
Ladies don't say they bleach anymore, they say they're toning.
Can I talk about that in 30 seconds?
Okay, so I would talk about that, but then we'll just quickly cover all the other aspects of things that people can do without.
In 30 seconds.
In 30 seconds. Well, you should sleep well, please. I talked about stress.
Okay.
Sleep well. If you can, please stay away from sugar because it causes aging, sporadic aging for your skin.
3.
Exercise, please. Brisk walk in the evenings, and then stay away from creams that you do not know how it was formulated. It hasn't been prescribed to you by your doctor or a certified personnel.
See, I said it. We're going to take you up on those other issues the next time you come. Dr. Bobola Savage.
Thank you.
Anti-aging and aesthetic doctor. Thank you so much for
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, the home stretch is going to be talking about something. In this hall, there are how many doors?
Something.
2 doors. But we're going to be talking about something that has to do with 7 doors when we return.